Hi and welcome to ESC Fan TV. This is a real special show tonight. We're delighted to say hello all the way from Linköping, Gustav from SVT. Hi, Gustav.
Hello, Linköping calling, SVT calling. How are you?
We're great. Yeah, I thought I would try and join you, so I have a fake picture of Linköping in my background. So I feel like I'm playing a role in tonight and feel like I'm there with you. So how have the preparations been coming along for this Saturday's show, Gustav?
I mean, it feels like things are under control. I brought a real background.
You have
the stage, the stage of Melodifestivalen, and they just had the dress rehearsal, the first dress rehearsal, and it seems like the show is coming together well. It's always a lot of things when it's the first show. But it's considered to be a strong heat. It's easy to say for me as an SVT representative that it's a strong heat. It always is for SVT, but external media is saying that it's a strong heat this time with contenders like Felix Sandman, Robin Bengtsson, and several others. So it's exciting to see how it will all come together.
And when do you, so tell us a little bit about what you do for SVT and Melodifestivalen, because you play a very important role, and I'm certain our viewers are interested in how you make this whole show happen.
Yeah, I'm working as an expert at Melodifestivalen, specifically at the Melodifestivalen online department. So I'm traveling around Sweden with this entire spectacle. And trying to like put a knowledgeable spin on everything, like help people doing the actual TV show, to provide them with trivia or whatever that they might need when they are asking me about things, which is happening frequently. But my main thing is, of course, blogging and tweeting and doing stuff for the Melodifestivalen voting app, which has content in it as well. So I'm trying to serve the fans and everyone who's really interested in Melodifestivalen with a lot of information.
So one of the questions that comes up time and time again, and I know you get asked this question, is when are SVT going to broadcast Melodifestivalen in English? Now, given it's a Swedish show, but you have such a fantastic international audience now, does it surprise SVT of the level of interest from international fans and the repeated question that comes up about producing the show in English in the future?
Yeah, I think it's very surprising. I mean, a lot of people don't realize this, but we have a project manager, Annette, at SVT right now at Melodifestivalen, she's realizing what this means and that it's really, really cool and significant. But the thing with SVT, of course, is that it's public service and it's based on the taxpayers' money, the Swedish taxpayers. So we should do stuff for the Swedish taxpayers mainly. But I mean, there's a lot of people even in Sweden who could have some help from an English commentator. So a lot of expats and a lot of new arrivals and whatever. So it could be good. It's just that it's been up on the agenda every year, and then it's turned down eventually for financial reasons. And what happens is that I'm tweeting in English instead as an English commentator from the SVT Melfest official Melodifestivalen Twitter account.
You are our translator, Gustav. It's basically what you're saying. Otherwise, we should all just go and learn Swedish, right?
Yeah, that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? It's the secret agenda of Melodifestivalen, really, but don't tell anyone.
So, I mean, I've got to ask this as an international fan. How big is Melodifestivalen in Sweden now? Because the project in its current form started in 2002. Obviously, there have been many Melodifestivalen prior to 2002, but in its current format, it's started around that time, and it's evolved over these 19 years. Is it just, how big is it in Sweden?
It's really, really big. I mean, it's the biggest TV show of the year by far. And it has always been the biggest TV show of the year, basically. So it's huge, and it's kind of like a national holiday because it's really dark and boring in Sweden at this time of the year. Sometimes there's no snow, it's gray, it's wet, and then we get this colorful festival. It comes in perfectly for people, and it's like it's called Mellotiden. People are starting to use the phrase the Melodifestivalen time of the year, which is like Christmas time. It's a special modern tradition. Modern. It's not a real holiday, but it's a tradition, a modern tradition that's always starting the first Saturday in February and has a final in March.
And how long have you been a fan of Melodifestivalen? And what is your kind of first memory of Melodifestivalen? Your favorite song of all time, would you say?
My first memory would be when I heard the songs when I was really young on radio, because we used to have a radio when we had breakfast in my family on Sundays, and they had a show called Svensk Toppen, the Swedish charts, and they had some songs from Melodifestivalen, and that's my first memory. But then it was in '91 when Sweden won Eurovision. That was the first year I was like really watching, and we were recording it, and it was like a sports event to me, and it was amazing when Sweden actually won. And we won the Ice Hockey World Championships on the same day. And since then, I mean, I recorded the '91 Eurovision show, and I was watching it over and over and over again, and I love the songs. Well, it's from there on.
And just a couple more questions around the sort of the cities, and we'll get into the songs or the entries for this week for the first semi-final. The host cities. One of the questions that came into us at ESC Fan TV was, how are the host cities chosen? Is this the bid, or is there always a sort of set number of cities that tend to host the semi-finals due to the sort of size and capacity that's required, given the sort of vast international audience now?
Yeah, it's a collaboration between SVT and Live Nation and another company called Blixen & Company. And these companies are doing arena shows and are in the business of selling tickets and stuff. And basically SVT are doing a TV show, and we want to reach out to the Swedish people and not just broadcast stuff from Stockholm and the bigger cities. So that's why Melodifestivalen is touring in different arenas in Sweden. And it's great in Sweden because we have ice hockey. So we have these ice hockey arenas, which are great for putting Melodifestivalen. We just put a stage, and it's kind of the same proportions, generally speaking. Nowadays, there are a few multi-function arenas like handball arenas too, but mostly it's ice hockey arenas. And then it's not like a formal bidding process. It's more like we want to distribute the shows across the country. And then it's a lot about the logistical possibilities. You need to have this arena, and if you have an arena and the municipality wants to host, eventually they are going to host. It's not tremendously expensive, and the PR value is said to be quite good. So the interest to host Melodifestivalen is significant across the country.
And so today you're in the Saab Arena, and we've just mentioned that you've seen the first run through of the show for tomorrow night. What should we expect as fans of this great show, and looking forward to the next 6 weeks of shows through SVT, which will be watched on an international scale? This first semi-final, we've got pretty much got everything, haven't we? We've got hip hop, we've got rap, we've got returning artists. We've got former backing singers turned Melodifestivalen artists. Talk us through, if you can, the 7 songs and 7 artists, and what we should generally expect. I know you won't go into too many specifics, but what should we expect to see tomorrow night?
Actually, there is no real rap song in this heat. It's we have Susie P and OVE. Both of those are kind of artists act with an urban touch, but it's not rap entries that they bring here. But in the odds, Felix Sandman is the big favorite, the one to beat in this heat. And also when Melodifestivalklubben and OGAE Sweden did an exit poll after the dress rehearsal here, Felix Sandman was the favorite. But we also have the Mamas, who are the backing singers from John Lundvik from Eurovision, the Swedish entry in Eurovision last year. And they are out as #1 in the running order, and they were right behind Felix in the exit poll, and a real crowd favorite in Linköping. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. It could be a great success for the Mamas. And we also have Robin Bengtsson, who's a Eurovision artist from 2017, of course. So there's a lot of things to look out for, but the most expensive stage show is probably found in Felix Sandman's entry as number 7 in the running order.
So you mentioned John Ludwig. Yes, he definitely did Eurovision for Sweden last year, and he also did it for the UK. So he wrote the UK song last year. Didn't do quite as well as Sweden last year, in truth. We finished bottom, but got to meet the Mamas in Tel Aviv last year, and I can't wait to see what they've got to deliver tomorrow night. Also, in terms of the overall show, can you tell us a little bit about what we might come to expect from SVT this year in terms of how the production's going to go, and what we might see in terms of a style?
Yeah, actually, what's interesting to know is that the first song that you hear is the opening act, and it's written by Anders Wrethov, who wrote the Swedish entry in Eurovision last year, Too Late for Love. And it's a real modern Schlager song, which it's just a great tune, and it has been entered for Melodifestivalen but has been rejected, and is now instead not competing in the show, but is in the show anyway as the opening act. So it's amazing. Yeah, there's a lot of things going on. Obviously, it's a big interval act with some returning classic Melodifestivalen acts. And the hosts seem to have a good chemistry already. It was the first dress rehearsal. Usually there are considerable troubles on the first dress rehearsals. Sometimes the newspapers write about the crisis meetings all through the night, but in truth, they always work all through the night after the first dress rehearsal. But it looks kind of that they're comfortable, and it feels like we have safe hosts this year. It's David Sundin, who is a former scriptwriter for Melodifestivalen in 2015 and 2016. It's Linnea Henriksson, who's kind of a rookie in Melodifestivalen, but she did an interval act in 2018. She's like a jazz pop singer in Sweden, but she actually loves Melodifestivalen, which shines through. And we have Lina Hedlund, of course, of Alcazar fame.
Yes, and don't we miss Alcazar? It's a great memory, Alcazar at Melodifestivalen. Gustav, where can we find you? We can find you at Twitter at Gustav Delander. That's GustavDahlander. And I guess we will see you online tomorrow night, Gustav.
Yeah, we're doing live. We actually did a live webcast in English at the Melodifestivalen YouTube channel, so we're kind of everywhere. But I have a blog also, which is my main where I put most of the time, and it's kind of a long URL, but you can search for blog Melodifestivalen SVT and you will find it's called Expertbloggen.
Well, thank you for joining us, Gustav. Really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man, and I know you're preparing for tomorrow night's show. Very, very best of luck to SVT as we commence this 6 weeks journey. And fingers crossed, at the end of it, we get another winner for Sweden.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the show.
Big thank you there to Gustav of SVT. Now, just a reminder that this Sunday at 10 p.m. Central European Time at ESCFantv.com, our panel will be reviewing the first semi-final of Melodifestivalen. So make sure you join us. That's 10 p.m. Central European Time on Sunday night for our first Melodifestivalen semi-final review. See you there.